Welcome to our latest series on sustainability in the construction and quarrying industries, where we put questions to the leaders from Cummins, Volvo construction equipment and Topcon positioning systems. Here we ask who is going to power it all, what sort of fuel options look like succeeding, when and in what circumstances do you anticipate sustainable motive power becoming standard? In terms of alternative fuel sources, what are your thoughts on hydrogen and other organic fuels, and also on electricity as the likely preferred sustainable energy sources for different equipment types? In what situations and geographies would you expect to see such equipment being deployed?
Oof. Yeah, that's the easy question. No, same thing here. It will differ a lot, yes. From if we call quarry as one segment, mining is one segment, industrial material handling one segment, and so on. It will differ from segment to segment when it becomes standard. For example, we see in mining that the big mining companies, I mean, they are strong driver towards sustainability. Already in the mindset today, looking into downsizing of the huge trucks that they are using today versus having multiple smaller trucks. So mining is one area where I think it will move to standard quite fast. Yeah. Then industrial handling, I would say that there you see that they have very often the infrastructure in place if they are moving to electric machines. And also we see customers that already today have their own energy production. So for them it's sort of only the investment, then they are running the machines for free basically. So it's very different. Yeah.
Different equipment types really require different things. Michael, what are your thoughts about this on hydrogen and other organic fuels, and also electricity as the likely preferred sustainable energy sources?
Well, I defer to my two fellow panelists. They're much stronger at the fuels thing than I am. When I begin to look at our opportunities, you certainly see that in many cases today, right, you could have fossil fuels, you can have fossil diesel, or you can have renewable or biodiesel, right? And so in many cases, I think that you don't necessarily have to throw out one fuel source without understanding that the existing infrastructure and the existing system we have today, it's very mature. And it's evolved to that level of maturity. And so in that case, the idea of things like ethanol-based fuel, biodiesel, I think that there's an immense amount of opportunity in being able to use elements of the structure that we already have. And then I think that the telematics and the data layers just act as proof of placement. They act as documentation of practice. And in documenting that, they're validating the benefits that we're creating through doing the right thing.
Jeremy, I'm going to take Michael's advice and draw on your expertise on this.
Yeah, it's been mentioned, solution diversity has got to be a consideration in this market. Right? There's so many applications, so many use cases. One application could be used in many different ways, right? So it may not even be a one solution for one application scenario. It probably is likely to not be. Again, it's for us, I don't see a lot of opportunities in that medium and heavy duty space where you've got something besides diesel that's going to be a TCO winner within the decade, right? I think that's important to know. I think you asked a question about hydrogen as a fuel. We've been pretty vocal, pretty open and positive about that. We're obviously very much interested in hydrogen and the success there. Pulling back to some of the earlier questions, if you think about that combination of, CapEx, OpEx, integration to the work site, not to underestimate some of the challenges, but from our perspective, one of the nearer term solutions that we're pretty excited about is hydrogen combustion engines, for a lot of reasons, right? They offer benefits for OEMs to I'm going to say, ease into decarbonization a little bit. You don't have to electrify the full chassis. You're really taking one engine out, putting another one in, packaging tanks, which is not insignificant, right? But it's a little bit of an easier lift in that regard. From a aftermarket channel, which we've not talked about today, engines are something that's familiar to that group, and it's not a small group. If you look at the service network for Cummins and other companies, right, a whole lot of investment, a whole lot of time and energy has been put into readying a capable channel. And thinking that switch is going to flip overnight is going to be probably short-sighted, right? It's going to take time for that to happen. So I think, solution diversity, 100% got to have that. Technology needs time to mature, costs need to come down. And again, that tends to happen first in our markets in non-off-highway spaces. So we obviously keep a watchful eye on the truck markets and other parts of the business that are kind of leading that way on our behalf.